prohibited on grounds for removal from the Grant Center. Also, possession or consumption of alcoholic beverages is prohibited. Also, I'd like to remind you that artificial noisemakers, including megaphones and cowbells, thundersticks, and other sirens are not allowed during play.
And welcome inside the East Stewart James Grant Center here in Danville, Virginia. Today, the Averett Cougars host the Huntingdon Hawks right here on the Averett Sports Network. Hello, everyone. My name's Zach Humphreys, and welcome to a Wednesday edition of College Hoops, as we're just a week away from Christmas Day, and it's Christmas break here at Averett University, but the show goes on for the players here on the hardwood, both on the men's side first and then the women's side at 4 p.m. or whenever this one finishes up. The men's side here, the Cougars come into tonight, or today rather, with a record of 6-4. They won last night, and a 2-0 record in conference play. They're coming off a strong second-half performance last night that led to a 77-55 win over Brevard right here in this building. Vinny Contreras led the way for the Cougars with 20 points off the bench. The Huntingdon Hawks come here to Danville with a 3-6 record and a 1-2 conference mark. They are winless on the road this season at 0-3. Damian Madison leads the way for the Hawks as he averages up over 16 points per ball game, so he's one to watch here this afternoon. The Cougars really scored by committee last night, and that trend will have to continue as they are still without one of their top scorers, the second to be exact, Isaiah Jones, as he's got a lower foot injury. We will take a short break and be back with basketball on the other side of this timeout. You're watching Averett basketball here on the Averett Sports Network.
I think me being involved with SAC, along with my involvement with the men's soccer team, has made my experience at Averett amazing. At first, I didn't really want to get involved around campus, but since jumping in the deep end, I feel like I've had a brilliant experience, and me being able to help Averett whilst Averett's helping me is probably the best experience.
Averett special to me is the small class sizes. I definitely chose Averett because I wanted, to know my professors. Another thing was I made a promise to myself in 5th grade that I wanted to play collegiate soccer.
And welcome back inside the Grant Center here on the campus of Averett University, right here in Danville, Virginia. Both teams back out now and going through the layup lines. So as we get set for this one, some interesting tidbits of information, if you will. This series, Cougars lead it all-time 5-1 against Huntingdon. Averett had won the first 5 meetings, in fact, before Huntingdon picked up a 68-61 victory just last season. That was at Huntingdon down in Alabama. Another interesting note, Coach Duino, the coach for the Cougars, he's going to meet a friendly foe as the head coach, David Duino, will go against his former assistant, David Gerganis, who is in his first year as the head coach now at Huntingdon after one season as an assistant with the Hawks. Gerganis spent 2 seasons with the Cougars as an assistant coach. Gerganis also played at NC Wesleyan College, who will be featured in the second matchup this afternoon. They'll face off against the Cougars on the female side after this one. But interesting enough, Duino was also an assistant coach before taking over Averett's program. He was an assistant coach at NC Wesleyan. But as we mentioned last night, Averett won 77-55 over Brevard, and the reserves, get this, scored 62 of the team's 77 points. 3 reserves scored in double figures, led by senior Vince Contreras, or Vinny as he goes by, 20 points. Junior Raymond Bullock and freshman Corey Baldwin both added 15 points to go along with it. Preseason, the Cougars were voted 3rd in the USA South East Division. Right now, they sit up top that East Division, 2-0 in the conference, 6-4 overall. So glad you're aboard with us here this afternoon. terms of how these teams stack up against one another, I know it's early in the season, but Averett has really been a defensive-minded team. They only average less than 70 points per game, but they don't give up much, right in the mid-60s. On the other side for Huntingdon, they're really an offensive team. Have not hung their hat on the defensive end, and we'll pause here momentarily for the national anthem.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Averett University and the Grant Center for today's USA South Conference men's basketball game featuring the Hawks of Huntingdon College and your Cougars of Averett University. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please rise and honor America with the playing of our national anthem as recorded by the Averett Singers. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. And now let's meet today's starting lineups. First for the visiting Hawks. The sophomore guard from Montgomery, Alabama, number 2, Damian Madison. The junior guard from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, number 5, James Harris. A senior forward from
And we'll take a look now at the Huntingdon College Hawks starting lineup.
the sophomore guard from Birmingham, Alabama, number 20, Caleb Tony. And a sophomore
And we'll start with their top scorer, number 2, a sophomore, 5'10", 170 from Montgomery, Alabama. And is Damian Madison. He comes in up over 16 points per game, so he'll be one to watch. Number 5, a junior guard, 6'1", 180, James Harris out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Number 20, a sophomore guard, 6'2", 165, Caleb Tony from Birmingham, Alabama. Number 40 is Dylan Bowling. He's a sophomore forward, 6'7", 195 from Woodstock, Georgia.
guard, a junior from Rocky Mount, North Carolina, number 3, Montre Cash.
And for the Cougars, again, we mentioned it's going to be by committee. Without number 24, they're one of their top scorers in Isaiah Jones. So everybody going to have to chip in. Yesterday, it was the bench crew who did a lot of the work. But they'll go with the same starting 5 as they did yesterday. Number 2, 5'10", sophomore, 165, Keyshawn Lewis from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Number 3 is Montre Cash, a junior, 5'10", 155 from Rocky Mountain, North Carolina. Number 12, a 6'3", 213-pound senior, is Tim Henry from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Number 14, a junior, Bryson Davis, goes 6'2", 180 from Morganfield, Kentucky. And number 50 is a senior, 6'6", 239 from North Carolina, Moriba Diaby, down low. So Huntingdon brings out Madison, Harris, Boyd, Tony, and Bowling. Averett matches with Lewis, Cash, Henry, Davis, and Diaby. And the ball is in the air, and it's going the way of Huntingdon, and that ball's out of bounds. It was knocked away. So the Hawks will retain possession. Ball does get in. Here's Boyd. Gets it back out front now to Tony. Hands it off to Harris. Madison, their top scorer, with it now. Waits for a screen. He's got it with 5 on the shot clock. Drives and lays it up off the glass. So Damian Madison gets the Hawks going. And welcome back here. Hopefully we worked out the technical difficulties here. So it's 10-7. Hawks lead by 3. Here's Montre Cash with it. Cash gets it to Contreras. Jump shot is off the mark, but it's tapped in by Corey Baldwin. So 10-9 now. Both teams off to a hot start from the floor. Cougars 4 of 8, Hawks 4 of 5. Here's Harris off the bounce into the corner. 3 ball is up in the air. It's off the mark. Full-headed steam. Here comes Cash, but he's fouled. Couldn't get the bucket to go, but he'll head to the free throw line for a couple. So junior guard Montre Cash will head to the stripe. Cash rattles in the first. Lucas Schmidt checks in for the first time for the Hawks. Schmidt, a 6'1 senior from Louisiana. Cash's second one is up and down. So the Cougars have their lead at 11-10 now. Almost 6 minutes in. Glad you're aboard with us. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We're back in action, though. Here's Schmidt, just checked in. Kicks it over the right wing, Zachary. Zachary at the foul line, and he shuffled his shoes. So turn it back over to the Cougars. Couldn't keep that pivot foot down. Here's Keon Lewis. Back to Raymond Bullock. Trying to break the pressure, and they do. Here's Baldwin. So now Lewis will set up shop at the top of the key. Lewis. Over to Contreras. Contreras, nice find inside as he found Bullock for an easy 2. Raymond Bullock gives the Cougars a 3-point advantage. Here's a stop and pop, and it's nothing but the bottom there for Zachary. So Keontae Zachary, a sophomore guard, cuts the lead to 1. Here's Contreras, had a big ball game yesterday, 20 points off the bench. Almost lost it, reclaimed it, and he traveled. Here's Keontae Zachary with a basketball, guarded there by Lewis. Here's Washington with it out high, back to Zachary. Zachary dribbles to the left, then brings it back out front. Zachary wants a screen from Washington. Gets one, goes opposite. Pull back 3, way off the mark. Rebound Contreras. Contreras had numbers momentarily. Here's Baldwin. Baldwin inside, tried a circus shot, no good. Rebound Zachary. Into the corner. Now Schmidt with it in the lane. Passed up on an easy one, but kicks it out for a wide open 3. And that's down for Aaron Washington. So both teams shooting the lights out here to start. Huntingdon now with a 2-point advantage. Huntingdon 6 of 9, Cougars 5 of 10 from the floor. Bullock behind the back. Gives to Lewis. Lewis to Contreras. Wide open 3 ball. No good. Rebound is fought for. Bodies hit the floor. Ball's out of bounds. And the officials point the way of the Hawks. Logan Gorey, a freshman forward, checks in for the Hawks. He'll inbound the basketball. Gets it into Zachary. Keontae Zachary gets it across half court now. And the freshman ran over a defender, so that'll be an offensive foul on Logan Gorey. That's Gorey's first, team's third. We'll have a timeout on the floor, but we'll keep it here with 11:57 left to play here in the first half, and it's 15-13. Huntingdon leading by 2. A lot of scoring here early on. As we look at it by the numbers, Huntingdon 6 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 4 from distance. Averett 5 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. The Cougars are 2 of 2 from the stripe, while the Hawks are 1 for 2. Averett does have the rebounding edge, 6 to 4. Got a couple offensive rebounds too. We've had a couple lead changes and one tie here in the first 9 minutes or so. Individually for the Hawks, really spread out and balanced scoring. Couple guys with 3 points. Got Harris, Tony, and Washington all with 3. On the Averett side, Montre Cash has done most of the scoring with 5 points, but Raymond Bullock right there off the bench with 4 as well. So we'll get back to action here. Bullock will inbound for the Cougars. And some pressure here in the backcourt by the Hawks. Here's Bullock. Gets it across half court. Keyshawn Harris with it. Harris kicks it back out front to Baldwin. Out of Contreras. Over to Baldwin. Deep 3. Off the rim, no good. Bullock follows, though. And the tap is good. We'll tie things up at 15. So Raymond Bullock, again, giving great minutes off the bench, as he did last night. 15 points, 7 rebounds in that one. Here's Zachary. That one is off the glass and good. Count it. And one coming.
Basket counts. Averett foul charge number 2. Keyshawn Lewis, his first personal, team's third.
They got Keyshawn Lewis on the foul. That's his first. Montre Cash returns. Tim Henry returns. And Keontae Zachary has 1 free throw. That one is up and good. So 18-15 here. Hawks lead by 3. As the Hawks leading scorer, Damian Madison, leading scorer coming into the game, checks back. Bullock gets it across to Cash. Cash. Good pass inside. He found Henry. Cash leads the team in assists. That was a pretty dime that time. Cuts the lead to 1. Hawks back with it. That was Thomas Green. Got called for a travel, so turn it back over to Averett.
Offensive foul charge number 10, Campbell, his second personal, team's fourth.
Michael Woods is also checked in for the Hawks, and here comes Dylan Bowling. Cash finds Bullock above the 3-point line. Back to Cash. Down low to Henry. Henry going to go to work. Little turnaround jump shot, and it's good. He had a few of those looks in the first half. I remember last night, just couldn't get him to go. That one right there gives Averett 19-18 lead. Ball into the corner. Nice drive into the paint, and it's up and good for Thomas Green. Thomas Green, a senior, 5'10", 170 from Alabama. Here's Cash, guarded by Green. Back and forth we go here at the Grant Center. Baldwin finds Contreras, down low to Henry. Another little mid-range shot, this one too strong. Rebound Green on the backside. Here comes Green. Floater in the lane, and he ran over a defender. They're going to get him with an offensive foul. He made the basket, but wipe it away. Team's 5th foul. And Bryson Davis, along with Jamal Ford, check in. No pressure this time by the Hawks, and Cash will get it across the midcourt line. Here's Ford to Henry. Back out front to Cash. Cash driving, spinning in the lane, puts up a shot, no good. Rebound grabbed by Bowling. Here come the Hawks. Here's Madison. It's good defense there by Bullock. Here's a drive in the lane. And we've got a whistle. Jamal Ford will pick up the foul. And Damian Madison, the sophomore guard, will head to the free throw line. Madison out of St. James High School in Alabama hits the first. Caleb Toney, along with Lucas Schmidt, return for the Hawks. Madison's second free throw is up and good. So here comes the pressure. It's almost like it's every other time that the Hawks apply the pressure in the backcourt. Here's Bullock. Found a crease in the defense and laid it up off the glass and got fouled. So Raymond Bullock a chance to tie this ball game back up at 22. So Raymond Bullock will head to the stripe here, try to cap off the three-point play, and does. Under 9 minutes to go, first half, all tied up here, 22 all. Here's Harris with it. Still holding on to it, now finds Madison. Deep triple, no good. Rebound to Cash. Cash pulls it back out front to Bullock. Bullock trying to get it inside to Henry, couldn't do so. Found Davis on the far wing. Now it's back out front to Cash. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Cash. Around a screen from Bullock. Deep three. Rebound is grabbed by the Hawks as it's off the mark. Here's Harris. Got inside. It was denied by Bullock, but they're going to get him with a whistle. So they're going to get Bryson Davis with the personal foul. Then they're going to get Raymond Bullock with a technical foul.
Personal foul charge number 14, Bryson Davis. That is his second personal.
So for Davis, it's his second personal.
Charge to Raymond Bullock, his first.
Bullock picks up the technical. That's his first. So it'll be free throws here for Damian Madison. Madison cans the first. Second free throw is up and off the mark. So a 1 point lead here for the Hawks. Now James Harris will toe the line for 2 shots. Harris' first shot is good. Harris, a junior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That one's good as well. 25-22, Hawks lead by 3. Pressure in the backcourt. Here's Cash and Bullock playing catch. Now it's to Ford. Ball inside to Bullock. Bullock trying to get an interior pass to Henry. Now he's just going to take matters into his own hands, and he got fouled. So split a double team, and Raymond and Bullock go right back to the free throw line. And we'll have some substitutions when we come back. But right now, with 7:49 left to play here, in the first half, it's the Hawks 25, the Cougars 22. We'll be back in a moment here on the Averett Sports Network.
What makes Averett special to me is the small class sizes. I definitely chose Averett because I wanted, to know my professors. Another thing was I made a promise to myself in 5th grade that I wanted to play collegiate soccer.
And welcome back here to the Grant Center. Zach Humphreys here alongside Ja'Cory Burley now. Burley, right?
Yes, sir.
Burley.
Ja'Cory Burley.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing swell.
Both these teams, some hot shooting here to start 25-22.
Yep, I'm excited to see how it turns out today.
And Raymond Bullock out of this timeout will head to the free throw line.
And Bullock has been playing tremendous over the past few games. Explosive second-year guy, if I'm not mistaken, and he's come in and he just gave valuable minutes.
Really has. He's really been a nice spark off the bench. Bullock first free throw is in. And everybody has to step up right now, of course, without Isaiah Jones, one of their top scorers.
Yep, definitely. But he's here today on the sideline coaching and helping the guys, so he's making his presence known off the court today.
And this rebound tracked down by Bullock as he missed the second free throw. Here's Ford. Thought about a deep three.
Great intentions on the pass. He's seeing Henry over there to the corner. Just kind of a little too much ump on it.
Yep, that's all. Right idea, though. Corey Baldwin returns for the Cougars. Here's Schmidt with it. Takes it over to Madison, their top scorer. Slices inside and up with a left hand. That was a nice-looking shot there.
He definitely had Montre on his toes and kind of sped it up a little bit there on him.
Here is Montre with the basketball out high. Gives to Baldwin. Baldwin dribbles and now going to fire a deep two and knock it down.
That's a great shot by Corey Baldwin, who also, speaking of valuable minutes earlier, he's been one of those guys providing valuable minutes as a freshman.
Ja'Cory, I was going to say only a freshman, but he doesn't look like one out on the floor.
No, definitely. He has a very experienced game,
That's for sure. Offensive rebound, and the putback attempt was no good, but the big man Logan Gorey will head to the free throw line. Yeah, Baldwin had 15 points last night off the bench and a 22-point win against Brevard. That one is no good. Wholesale substitutions here. As Michael Woods will check in.
Yep, getting some fresh legs in there.
Keontae Zachary had some good minutes. He'll check back. Second free throw here for Gorey is nothing but the bottom. Under 7 to play. A little pressure in the backcourt now. Here's Baldwin. Gets it ahead to Henry. Contreras now on the right side. Contreras slices inside. Couldn't get the shot, but he got fouled.
And that was a great drive by Contreras, just dipping his shoulder, getting there, taking straight to the cup, knowing he could draw the foul with 2 defenders near.
Contreras, a guy that's been around a long time, and you can tell he's kind of a floor general, if you will. Had 20 points last night off the bench. That bench crew last night was really spectacular.
And having a great bench is vital to having a successful game and getting the win and the outcome, because those valuable minutes can maintain and keep the flow of the game.
Definitely, and Averett's pretty deep team. I mean, they've got a lot of guys that are interchangeable that can come in and give good minutes.
Yep. Timothy Henry and Mo Diaby.
Yeah, kind of a similar player.
Yep.
You don't lose much when you bring one in. This one knocked away. Bullock tracks it down. And Bullock was fouled from behind that time. So that'll be a 1-1 as they're over the limit.
And Bullock just plays with a passion.
He does.
He just plays with that grit. He's a young player. He's fired up every time he hits the court. And it's just fun to watch. It's always fun to watch Bullock.
Yeah, he had a nice breakaway dunk last night. Got the crowd going a little bit. So
that high energy keeps the guys going. That translates to the bench guys getting in and want a piece of that action. So
for sure.
Great spark plug for the Cougars.
Bullock's already in double figures and scoring, and he rattles home the first, so give him 11 points so far.
He's feeling they got a little lucky bounce there.
Little home court advantage. Mm-hmm. Home rim advantage, maybe?
Indeed.
Cougars trying to crawl back into it here. They're down by 1, and not anymore. All knotted up at 28. As Paulden checks in.
And we see Keyshawn Lewis also checks in for the Cougars.
Yeah, Keyshawn Lewis, another one of those floor generals.
Mm-hmm. Coming in with just that poise, running the floor, and then the offense comes to him, not forcing it.
Yeah, rarely do you see him force a shot. Look at that. Baldwin comes up with a steal. Now he ducks inside, puts up a tough shot. Couldn't get it to fall.
And we see Lewis hustling. Oh, with that
nice block from behind. They're going to get Lewis with the body contact, though. I think the block was clean, but he might have hit him with the body a little bit.
And that was just a great defensive sequence by the Cougars. The steal that Corey Baldwin initiated, which led to the chase down block. So great defensive stand right there by the Cougars. Lewis
was shaken up there for a moment, but he's going to stay on the floor.
He definitely hit the ground. He went all out for that block, and he was rewarded. Foul, but still rewarded. Got the block. No and one.
Aaron Washington at the free throw line. As Jacob Champion checks back.
And Baldwin made a play similar to Paul George from the other night. It almost looked like it did. It was crazy because they had the same number. He used to have 13.
Right. Keyshawn Lewis with it. Gets it across half court. Good ball pressure by Washington. Hands off to Contreras. Slicing inside. Got the left hand shot up there, but we got to fight for the rebound as Paulden had it, but got tied up. I'm actually going to call a foul on Keontae Zachary.
And both teams are playing very physical and very gritty today, and that's going to be a great turnout for the end result.
Yeah, it really started that way. I mean, both teams came out firing really hot shooting to start. Well, James Harris wanted to check in, but might have to wait till the first free throw. As the officials having a meeting of the minds, if you will, underneath the basket.
The last time has been changed to number 10, Cam Boyd, his third person.
And as I'm sitting here watching the game, I also noticed Coach G is back in town, which is making the game even more intense here that it's so close. It's great to have him back here, an alum. Definitely a great Averett presence.
Yeah, Coach Gerganis, of course, spent 2 seasons with the Cougars as an assistant coach. Also played at NC Wesleyan, where Coach Duino was an assistant coach. So, yeah, I mean, a branch out of the coaching tree, if you will, of Coach Duino. So they definitely know each other well.
Yep. And it's showing on the court. Both teams are at a close game. They're both playing physical and hard. So you can see the similar mentalities there.
Right. That's a good point, yeah. As Bullock returns, coming in for Henry. Here's a 3-ball. Deep 3 is off the rim, no good by Champion. An offensive rebound.
And that was a great contest by Bullock to get his hands up, knowing he's a bigger defender, and that made him have to shoot the shot a higher arc. Great contest.
Washington wide open 3, and that's nothing but nylon. And a timeout by the Cougars as the Hawks make it a 33-28 game here with 5:13 left to play.
Huntingdon timeout.
So here with 5 minutes left here in the first half, Jacory, what are you looking for out of the Cougars side? They're down by 5, but it's been kind of a back and forth game this whole first half.
Yeah. I look for the Cougars. They just have to get a little more aggressive on the offensive end. That defensive energy is definitely contagious, and it can roll over to the offensive end. Once they get going, I can see them closing the deficit and being back on top.
Take a look at some of the numbers. Averett shooting it pretty well. They're 10 of 22 from the floor, 45%. But tell you what, the Hawks are scorching from the floor. They're 10 of 16, 62.5%. You would think that number's got to come down at some point.
And they just come from the getting to the ball, the contest, being hounds on defense like the Cougars have started showing flashes of. So I'm interested to see how the rest of the game goes.
Here's Lewis with it. And we're under 5 to play here in the first half. Paulden has it, and we got a whistle down low. A foul away from the basketball.
Huntingdon foul charge number 24, Keontae Zachary.
And Zachary picks up his second.
Bullock at the line for the Cougars.
With that foul, still a 1-and-1 situation, so Bullock will toe the line. Well, check that. It was 2 shots. Lucas Schmidt checks back for the Hawks. One more coming here for Bullock. That one's down the hatch. Harris hands it off to Champion. Now Washington with it. Washington. Step back 3. The bottom. So Washington back-to-back triples.
And that scorching shooting you were talking about earlier is continuing on here. The Cougars are going to have to get that under control.
Some ball pressure there, and Bullock got called for a carrying violation.
And a stop right here is vital. They have to get a stop right here to kind of stay within range.
You know, basketball's a game of runs. This feels like Huntingdon is on one of those runs.
Yeah, they're on the high street. Like you said, shooting 62%. They're definitely on the high street.
And Washington's a big reason why. He's going to fire another one. How about this? Aaron Washington, the senior guard, is scorching from outside. He's got 3 triples and 3 trips down the floor. Here's Cash. They can really use him to get going.
And you can see the shots kind of rising his confidence. His defensive energy, his body language shifted. You can definitely see that he's getting hot here.
Here's Contreras on the baseline. Back out front to Bullock. Bullock thought about a 3. Then he'll go inside. Bullock off the glass and 1. And it's a blocking foul, too. So Raymond Bullock with a big, much-needed basket there.
And that goes back to what I was talking about, him being a spark plug. He brings that energy. He brings that intensity to keep the Cougars fighting in the game.
And we'll take another timeout, and Raymond Bullock will shoot a free throw here on the other side. Right now the score, 39-31, Hawks over the Cougars. We'll be right back here on the Averett Sports Network.
The small class sizes. I definitely chose Averett because I wanted, to know my professors. Another thing was I made a promise to myself in 5th grade that I wanted to play collegiate soccer.
If you have the talent and dedication to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
And welcome back here to the Grant Center. Glad you're aboard with us here on the Averett Sports Network. Huntingdon is on fire right now, and in particular, Mr. Washington having himself a huge first half. Aaron Washington, the senior. 39-31 are the numbers at the moment as Raymond Bullock will shoot a free throw here.
And these free throws here can definitely shift the game for the Cougars. High free throw percentages often wins games. Going to the foul line, converting your free throws can be a major difference at the end of the game. So let's hope Raymond converts these free throws. It gives the Cougars a fighting chance.
So Bullock trying to cap off a three-point play here. And does.
Nope. There we go.
Now they need to stop. Some ball pressure in the backcourt here as Montre just missed that one. So the Hawks will get in their half-court set now. Schmidt with it out high. Schmidt finds Washington, who's been scorching from beyond the arc. Good defense here by Contreras, though. Almost picked up that pivot foot. Schmidt hands it off out front. This is Green. Deep three as the shot clock was winding down. So good defensive stand there by the Cougars.
Yeah, they're very active, rolling around, communicating. So that's good to see rolling into the second half.
So Cougars down 7 here at the moment. Still some time here in the first half to break into that deficit. Here's Bullock. Nice interior pass to Henry. As Henry had it knocked away. Nice play by James Harris, who came in there late to knock it away. So Montre Cash will inbound here. Gets it out front to Henry. Back to Cash. Cash open for 3 momentarily. Went off the dribble. Pull-up jump shot, left it short. Rebound tracked down by Contreras. Misses the shot, but he's fouled. So a good hustle play there by Vinny, and he'll head back to the free throw line.
And we can see now the free throws are starting to eat at that deficit that the Cougars are facing. And with Vince Contreras coming in and just getting a great foul. He got a great look, hustle for the rebound, and he put the Cougars in a good position. He shoots his first, hits the back iron.
Cougars now 9 of 15 from the free throw line. Both teams shooting a lot of free throws. Huntingdon 10 of 13 from the line. Contreras will try to knock in the second, and does. So some more ball pressure here in the backcourt, trying to create some turnovers. There's a nice trap. That ball was floating, but it got it across half court. Uh-oh, here's Washington left open. Uh-oh, that's not good. As Washington came in averaging 12 points per game. He's a three-point shooter. He's got 4 triples here in the first half. Give him 17 points in the first half.
And that was a great ball fake just to he knew Bullock was coming, get him on his toes. let him fly by, and then you knock it down.
Here's Bullock. He'll try a three and hit.
And that's a great response to the shot. And he also contested it, so it's kind of like, yeah, back at you.
That's a few times now where the Cougars have really needed a bucket, and Raymond Bullock has provided one.
Definitely. He's their spark plug. He brings that energy game in and game out, and it's fun to watch. It's definitely fun to watch.
So right now the top scorer for Huntingdon, no surprise here, is Washington. He's 5 of 5 from the floor. All 5 have come from beyond the arc, so check that. I thought he was 4 of 4. He's 5 of 5 from distance. He's also added 2 free throws for his 17 points. On the other side for Averett, Raymond Bullock's got 19 points. Cougars trail by 6. .220 left to play here in the opening half. Washington hands it off out front. This is Green. Gets a screen. Finds the big man rolling to the basket, and it's up and good for Caleb Toney.
Great shot. That was great defense by the Cougars. Just a great shot.
Here's Cash. Inside to Bullock. He's had the hot hand here in the first half. Bullock going to go baseline, spinning, lost it, got it back, kicks it out to Contreras. Wide open three, in and out, no good. Rebound, squirts out top to the Hawks. Washington's open. That one's off the mark, but the Hawks reclaim the offensive rebound. Out front to Madison. He'll try a three and hit. Damian Madison came in as their top scorer. That was a big triple.
And the Hawks have had supreme confidence behind the arc tonight, and they've just been shooting.
Cash will step back and shoot a three. That's no good. Henry working on the glass. Tries a second time. Couldn't get it to go. Ball's out of bounds. And it points the way of the Hawks. Yep. So everything seems to be going Huntington's way here in the first half. Bryson Davis returns. Here's Madison. Now Washington. Back to Madison. Good interior pass, and it's up and good for Zachary.
And he just snuck behind on the baseline. He just snuck there. He seen the window and he took it. That was a great pass, great vision.
Hawks are playing really efficiently on the offensive end. 49 first half points. Under 30 seconds to go now. Contreras finds a crease inside. He got fouled. And they'll get Caleb Toney on the foul.
Huntington foul charge number 20, Caleb Toney, his first personal. Vince Contreras at the line for the Cougars.
So one more coming here for Vinny Contreras. Jacob Champion checks back for the Hawks. Contreras, second free throw, in and out, no good. Rebound, Toney. And they can hold for the final shot here in the first half if they so choose. And it looks like Madison will run some clock. It's a high ball screen. Dribbles to the right. Madison, deep three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound. Baldwin had it stolen away, though. And the tap is up and good. Caleb Toney at the horn. And the Hawks with a huge first half. They lead it 51-37. Although we still have a second half to play here. So come on back with us here on the Averett Sports Network. We'll step aside momentarily, come back with the first half statistics right on the other side of this timeout.
Special to me is the small class sizes. I definitely chose Averett because I wanted, to know my professors. professors. Another thing was I made a promise to myself in 5th grade that I wanted to play like collegiate soccer.
If you have the talent and dedication to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Being a student athlete at Averett and being an RA, it is very time consuming, but it has gotten me, I'm much more involved than I was last year. I have really good relationships with all my residents that I didn't have before, and the student athlete, it's nice to be able to relate with my teammates and other student athletes. I'm kind of in the middle ground, so I get both sides, make those connections with both groups.
And welcome back here to the Grant Center. Zach Humphreys alongside Ja'Cory Burley. And what a first half for the Huntingdon Hawks, 51 points here in the first half. Well, on that pace, they're on pace for 100. I mean, something's got to stop here for that Huntingdon offense, and it starts with that Averett defense.
Yeah, and definitely they just have to close to the perimeter, get hands up in the shooter's face, and get some contests to kind of get that shooting percentage down.
If you look at the individual numbers for Huntingdon, Aaron Washington scorching from beyond the arc. He was 5 of 6 from distance, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He had 17 points in that first half. But as you can see, a lot of other people chipped in. Caleb Toney, 9 points, 4 rebounds. Damian Madison, their leading scorer coming in, had 10 points in 12 minutes. And, everybody kind of chipping in, even off the bench. Zachary had 5 points and 3 boards. And look at the shooting percentage, 63%, 17 of 27 in that first half.
Yep, and the Cougars the Hawks are being dead eyes from the three-point range, and the Cougars will have to get a hold on that in order to cut into this deficit.
On the other side for Averett, they've got 37 first half points. Their top scorer, and really the person who's kept them in this game, is Raymond Bullock. He's got 19 points, 3 rebounds. I mean, he's almost single-handedly kept the Cougars alive.
Yeah, definitely. And like we were talking about before the half ended, he's that spark plug. He brings that energy to the team, and that 19 points is big right now for the Cougars. Hopefully he can come back in the second half and produce a few more points and help the Cougars get the win.
Vinny Contreras also off the bench, 5 points, 3 rebounds, coming off a strong ball game last night. For the starters, Montre Cash has got 5 points in the first half, and Tim Henry with 4, but those other 3 starters, Keyshawn Lewis, Diaby, and Davis, held scoreless in that first half. See if they can get some more things working there in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. Those three guys definitely came in the game and gave a more defensive effort. You see if they can let that translate to the offensive end, and we see, like I said, see the Cougars chip into that deficit.
And in the first half, the Cougars shot 43%. Raymond Bullock already with a career high. We just got that word with the 19 points in the first half. So strong performance. They're going to need him to keep it going, but I think they're going to need some other people to help out.
Definitely. We see Montre Cash shooting 1 for 6. And he shoots 2 for 2 from the free throw, which is good. But that 1 for 10, he definitely has to knock down a few more shots. That will open up some more opportunities for Raymond in order for Bullock to continue having an all-star night.
And we know what Cash is capable. Of course, coming in, averaging just over 15 points per game. Had a breakout year last year. Had a career high 39 in a ball game. So, I mean, he can score in bunches when he gets it going. And the Cougars could really use that in the second half, one of those outbursts by Cash.
Definitely, let's hope some of Raymond's energy is rubbing off on those guys in the locker room, and they come back out ready to light the scoreboard up.
Still a lot of time left. A lot of time left for the Cougars as they trail at the half, 51-37. We'll take another timeout and be back with second half hoops here on the Averett Sports Network.
The small class sizes. I definitely chose Averett because I wanted, to know my professors. Another thing was I made a promise to myself in 5th grade that I wanted to play collegiate soccer.
My name is Eddie Glenn, and you're watching the Averett Sports Network.
If you have the talent and dedication to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
What makes Averett special to me is the family-oriented and diverse background and communities. Here at Averett, we believe in one family, one team philosophy. As an RA, being able to guide people in the right direction and building a community helps me develop leadership. Also, being a leader on the football team and captain, it helps me guide people to be better each and every way.
Being a student athlete at Averett and being an RA, it is very time consuming, but it has gotten me, I'm much more involved than I was last year. I have really good relationships with all my residents that I didn't have before, and the student athlete, it's nice to be able to relate with my teammates and other student athletes. I'm kind of in the middle ground, so I get both sides, make those connections with both groups.
I think me being involved with SAC, along with my involvement with the men's soccer team, has made my experience at Averett amazing. At first, I didn't really want to get involved around campus, but since jumping in the deep end, I feel like I've had a brilliant experience, and me being able to help Averett whilst Averett's helping me is probably the best experience.
Going back to school is not just for the kids. Averett University has degree programs for working adults who want to pursue their bachelor's or master's online or on campus. Visit gps.averett.edu for more information.
The following is a production of the Averett Sports Network. The following is a production of the Averett Sports Network.
And welcome back inside the Grant Center, still at halftime here, where the Huntingdon Hawks lead the Averett Cougars 51-37. As just we're getting ready for the second half here, alongside Jacory Burley. I'm Zach Humphreys. Glad you're aboard with us here on the Averett Sports Network on this fine Wednesday afternoon of college hoops. Of course, the Averett Cougars female basketball team will follow this one at 4 o'clock as they'll play host to NC Wesleyan, so stick around with us. We'll have that broadcast as well. But we touched on a lot of the things that went on there in the first half. Now that we've had a couple of minutes to kind of let the dust settle, if you will, any other closing thoughts here? Some keys to victory here for the Averett Cougars as they try to come back from 14 down.
Force some more turnovers. The Hawks have 7 turnovers. The Cougars have 5. So with that, if the Cougars can keep that turnover rate down and continue to put pressure on the ball and get hands in the shooter's face, I feel like the Cougars will have an excellent half.
One thing to watch, too, is the hot shooting for Huntingdon. I mean, you wouldn't think they'd be able to keep this going. They're shooting 63% from the floor, 17 of 27. So it starts on the defensive end of the floor as the Cougars try to crawl back in this. Of course, you can't get it all back at once. Basketball is a game of runs. We talked about that. I mean, just got to, put a couple runs together. 5-0 here, 5-0 run here, 6-0 run here, and all of a sudden you're right back in it.
And the Cougars weren't shooting extremely poor. They were shooting a good, a medium 42%, almost 50%, which can keep them in the game if they can increase that number and get it up to the 50s and if maybe the 60s like the Hawks.
And really, the Cougars' defense has been a strong suit this season. They've only allowed opponents to score roughly 65 points per game, so you would think they're poised to have a strong second half on that end of the floor, and they'll need to as the Hawks start with possession. So James Harris has it on the left wing. Kicks it down low now. Back out front to Washington, who was scorching from outside in the first half. Now he's going inside. Washington up with a tough shot, and it's no good. Rebound Davis.
And that was a great deflection by Davis, getting his long arms up over the defender and blocking the shot.
Davis, a nice athletic wing, can play a multitude of positions, can play the 2, 3.
Definitely.
Even the 4 sometimes. Here's Cash on the baseline. Cash pullback 3. That's good. Big bucket there for Montre Cash.
And like we were harping on before earlier before half, once Montre gets going, he had a season-high 39. He's definitely that player that can produce those points. So we see him get going, I feel like we can have a big turnaround for the Cougars.
Great to see Cash get going early. He did that last night, too, coming out of the locker room. Here's the Hawks leading by 11 now. He wants a screen set out high, does Harris. Gets the screen, splits the defense. Harris, tough shot with 1 on the shot clock, no good. Another good defensive stand there by the Cougars.
Yep, and they came back with that defensive energy. Coach DeWino, he must have said something. Hey, let's get this ball back. Let's go out and have some fun this second half.
Here's Keyshawn Lewis.
The Cougars
to Davis.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, the Cougars have a different demeanor about themselves coming out the half. Very aggressive, very poised. They look like they're ready to make this comeback.
They've cut into that deficit already. It was a 14-point advantage at the break. It's down to 11. As the Cougars lost a turnover there. So it's back to the Hawks. Nice drive inside as James Harris found a crease.
And the post defender was just a second late to get there, to get hands up to block the deflection, but great drive by him.
So here's Cash with it on the right side. Out front to Davis now. Davis goes high post to Bullock. Bullock spinning. Finds his teammate inside. Now Henry's up with a shot. 2 interior passes that time, and Henry had an easy one off the glass.
And we had 3 Cougars touch that ball on that possession, so ball movement is going to be help those in those crucial situations. Good pass by Keyshawn Lewis.
53-42. Just over 2 minutes in here to the second half. Nice driving layup, but the shot was missed. Washington gets the rebound and hits the mid-range jump shot. Everything going James Washington's way.
Yep, and he brought the jumper today. He definitely did.
Check that. That's Aaron Washington as Cash puts it off the window.
Cash for 2.
And we see his confidence rise, and Washington's confidence rise earlier in the game. He dropped 17 in the first half, so he still has kind of that residue on him, that shooting residue.
And Damian Madison split the defense that time, made the bucket and the foul, so big bucket there by the sophomore.
Madison at the line for 1 shot.
So Madison puts the Hawks back up 13, looking to make it a 14-point advantage, and does.
And we see, we was talking about Keyshawn Lewis being a floor joiner. We see him at the point now kind of running things, letting Montre play a little off ball so he can get more open shots and kind of attack that deficit.
Cash has 5 points already here in the second half. He's got it in a wide open 3. Off the rim, no good. A little too strong that time. And we've got a loose ball foul here on Keyshawn Lewis.
And Keyshawn knew he was hounding the ball a little bit. He told coach, my fault. But that was just great pressure. He's trying to get pressure on the ball. You can't blame him.
Trying to make something happen, down 14.
You love that effort.
So Baldwin and Contreras hop off the bench here. So it's Contreras, Henry, Baldwin, Cash, and Bullock out there for the Cougars. Here's Madison. He's tough off the dribble, off the glass this time, no good. Rebound, fought for, won by Washington. Another offensive board and another chance. Here's a 3 ball up and down. Zachary with a deep triple. 61-44 now. There's Cash.
And we see the Hawks still having a monster shooting night. They came back from the half and they are sticking to the game plan. They're getting shots up and they're getting good looks.
There's a blocking foul underneath as Henry went up with a shot. as they tag that foul to Logan Gorey.
That's his second personal team first. Tim Henry in the line for the Cougars.
So Tim Henry, a really good rebounder inside for the Cougars. Nice touch inside, too. We'll head to the free throw line. First free throw's good. Henry grew up right down the road in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And that one's good as well. Back with it come the Hawks. Nice pass as Gorey missed the layup, though. Got it back and put it in.
He just didn't put enough on it that first shot. Kind of hit the bottom of the rim. He surprised after catching that great pass by the Hawks.
And the Hawks lead by 17 now. It was a 14-point advantage at halftime. Here's Cash. Now Henry. Little fadeaway jump shot in the paint. That was pretty. Little fall-away jump shot for Henry, and that'll cut the lead back to 15. And we've got a timeout by the Cougars. With 15:28 left to play here first half. Aaron Washington leading the way for the Hawks still with 19 points. On the other side for the Cougars, Raymond Bullock with 19 points.
And we've seen Bullock kind of cool off a little bit here in the second half. He's fresh out the half. He hasn't gotten any balls. I guess I see Coach try to get Montre a little more involved, kind of get his shots up. So we'll see how those two work out and kind of keep the pace going for the Cougars.
Yeah, Montre Cash only had 5 points at halftime, already with 5 points here in the second half, so he's got 10 total. So, yeah, right out of the locker room, he hit a three there. But really starts on the defensive end of the floor here, Jacory, because the Hawks continuing to play well on that end of the floor on the offensive end.
And the Cougars are going to have to force those guys off the perimeter and get them to drive and contest some more, get their big man to contest some more shots. Excuse me.
So maybe the Cougars can make a run as Aaron Washington is on the bench. He's been a huge contributor here already with 19 points. So some ball pressure now in the backcourt as the Cougars look to create a couple turnovers and get some easy ones perhaps. Ball inbound. Now Schmidt has it.
And this lineup here that Coach has in with Bullock, Bullock, Corey Baldwin, Timothy Henry, Montre Cash, and Vince Contreras is a good lineup. This lineup, you have all your gritty players, you have your spark plug, your scorer, your floor general. It's a great lineup here that can help the Cougars cut into the deficit.
Keontae Zachary sliced through the defense that time and drew a foul. And we've got a media timeout now. With 15:15 left to play. The Hawks lead at 63-48. We'll take a short timeout and be back with more action right after this.
Small class sizes. I definitely chose Averett because I wanted, to know my professors. Another thing was I made a promise to myself in 5th grade that I wanted to play collegiate soccer.
If you have the talent and dedication to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
And welcome back to the Grant Center here on the campus of Averett University here in Danville, Virginia, where the Huntingdon Hawks lead at 63-48. 15-point advantage at the moment.
Here in the second half, we see Montre Cash with 5 points early on. kind of heating up for the Cougars. Raymond Bullock having a 19-point game so far, giving the cutting into the deficit that the Cougars are facing with 64-48 here in the second quarter with 15 minutes and 15 seconds to go.
As Keontae Zachary makes the first free throw. Got one more coming. Off the mark, no good. Strong rebound by Bullock. Baldwin over to Bullock, back to Baldwin as they get it across the half-court line. Here's Cash on the right wing. Bullock gets it inside to Henry. Henry up with a shot, no good, but he's fouled. So Tim Henry giving some good offensive production here.
Yep, and that was a great shot. He knew he had two defenders surrounding him, give him no other option but to foul. That was a great shot by Timothy Henry.
Tim Henry at the line for the Cougars.
The free throws, like we were talking about earlier, are very important. They can help cut into the deficit. They can be a spark plug for a run. Like we've been saying all afternoon, basketball is a game of runs. So these free throws, they have to hit those, and I feel like that could be the biggest changing point in this game. Well, besides stopping those shooters that the Hawks have.
Right.
In Washington.
Yeah, Washington's been scorching from beyond the arc. 5 threes. 2 free throws here by Tim Henry, though, so that helps. Lead back to 14 now for Huntingdon. See if the Cougars can get a stop here. They cut it to 11 right out of the first couple minutes by Montre Cash hitting that deep triple. Here's a steal by Cash, and he's got nothing but open floor, and he lays it up off the glass.
And that whole possession started with Corey Baldwin's pesky defense on the ball carrier. I said ball carrier, excuse me. This is not football, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Coming from a football player, that's understandable.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul.
Cougars back within 12. There's a deep three in the corner. Off the rim, no good. Rebound, Contreras. Oh, Contreras lost it. Zachary with a nice steal. Zachary up with a shot, no good, but he got fouled.
And Contreras took his eyes off the ball for a split second, and that was enough for the defender to get the hand in there. He was trying to look up court, get his vision up so he can pass to a teammate.
Zachary at the line for the Hawks.
So Keontae Zachary back to the stripe. He was just there a moment ago. His free throw is good.
And every time the Cougars get on the run, they foul and end up ending their run or, kind of slowing down their momentum. If they can keep down the fouls, the Cougars will be just fine here in the second half.
Second free throw is pure as well. So 14-point lead. That's where we were at intermission. So nothing has changed from that department. 6 minutes in here to the second half. 14 minutes left to go in the ballgame. Here's Baldwin. Out high to Henry. Now Cash. Baldwin steps into a three. No good, but he got fouled on the three-point shot. So 3 free throws coming here for the freshman, Corey Baldwin.
And that was a great shot, great look. I thought he had the and one. Just hit that front iron a little bit, put a little too much on it, but great shot by Corey Baldwin.
I think he thought he had it too, as you could judge by his body language. He thought it was going down.
And that definitely would have been a big momentum shifter. Getting that and one, giving him a 4-point play.
But still a chance to hit 3 free throws and cut into the deficit. First one's good. Baldwin's second free throw is pure.
Thomas Green back in for the Hawks. Also Damian Madison back in for Huntington.
Damian Madison checks back for Huntington, along with Thomas Green. Baldwin's third free throw is good. So 3 free throws by the freshman makes it an 11-point game. Averett needs a stop here, and they can get it to single digits if they get the basketball back down 11. Madison out high with it, gives to Champion. Now to Zachary on the left side. Zachary behind the back. Now pulls it back outside to Champion. Champion's going to try a 3 and hit it. Now, as you mentioned, Jacory, every time they need a big shot, they find one, and that time it was Champion with a 3.
And the Hawks have had extreme confidence tonight from behind the arc. They're shooting with confidence.
As Cash got fouled on his way to the basket there.
Huntington foul charge number 15, Jacob Champion. That is his second personal team score.
They got Champion on the foul. That's his second.
Even with the deficit, though, the Cougars are kind of finding this. If you see a difference in the play from the first half to the second half, they're scoring more. They're hounding pesting the ball a little bit more, and they're getting good looks.
If you take the second half and look at it, just the second half, it's all tied up. It's still a 14-point advantage. That's where we were at halftime. So both teams are playing even here in the second half. Cash cuts into the lead now. Cougars need a stop. Here's Champion. Over to Zachary. Zachary finds a cutting Madison, but his shot was blocked out of bounds.
And that was just a great block by Bullock. Monster of a player, great inside defender.
Madison.
He's definitely been a spark plug for the Cougars tonight.
As that layup was up and good by Thomas Green. So the lead back to 15 now. There's Baldwin into Bullock. Turns and it's off the glass. So Raymond Bullock's strong play continues. Already a career high. Give him 21 now.
They foul charge number 3, Montre Cash. His second personal, team's fifth.
One thing I've seen, Ja'Cory, a lot of dribble penetration. It seems like Huntington is getting into the lane at will, and we know if you can get in the lane, you're either going to make a shot or kick it out for that open three, and we've seen both.
And it's transition. The Cougars are not getting back up the court and sitting down and getting ready to play some defense. So let's see the Cougars kind of get more poised and kind of get back on transition and stop that. Get some hands in the guy Hawks' face.
Inbound pass is in. Here's Dylan Bowling, and he traveled.
And that was great defense by Timothy Henry to just be there for the kind of give the deflection off the defender.
Cougars down 13. Montre Cash with it. Finds Tim Henry out high. Now Bullock, he's been on fire. 21 points. Spin move. A little too hard off the glass. Collected his own miss, though. Going to go back up with it, and that shot was blocked. Zachary got the block. Here he is with the basketball. And we've got another whistle. Another reach-in foul, perhaps.
You just have to sit and admire Bullock's tenacity. He missed a shot, hustled for 2 more rebounds and a third possible rebound off of just his own missed shot. So it's fun to watch Bullock. It's fun. And we see Montre Cash on the drive. And him and Bullock are feeding off each other. They're hustling for their rebounds and putting back shots.
Of course, they know one another. They played at rival high schools over in North Carolina.
And they're a great pair to watch. Great pair to watch.
Well, here we are again. That lead is cut to 11. The Cougars have not been able to get over this hump. They've cut it to 11 on a few occasions here in the second half. See if they can get a stop. 7 on the shot. Zachary out to Madison, deep 3. Are you kidding me? With the shot clock winding down.
And the Hawks are scorching from the three-point line tonight. Everything goes up, comes down, and they're hitting it every time.
That one was with the shot clock winding down, too. A tough shot. Henry faces up, gets inside, scoop layup, no good. And the rebound goes to Bowling and the Hawks. Madison inside. We've got a jump ball. And we've got a timeout here. To score 74-60, the Hawks leading the Cougars. And we'll take another short timeout and be back in just a moment here with more college hoops right here on the Averett Sports Network.
I think me being involved with SAC, along with my involvement with the men's soccer team, has made my experience at Averett amazing. At first, I didn't really want to get involved around campus, but since jumping in the deep end, I feel like I've had a brilliant experience, and me being able to help Averett whilst Averett's helping me is probably the best experience.
What makes Averett special to me is the family-oriented and diverse background and communities. Here at Averett, we believe in one family, one team philosophy. As an RA, being able to guide people in the right direction and building a community helps me develop leadership. Also, being a leader on the football team and captain, it helps me guide people to be better each and every way.
And welcome back inside the Grant Center, where the Cougars trail by 14 here at the moment. As they look to make a run here. They've had it to 11 a couple times, but have not been able to get over into single digits.
And we see Bullock and Montre Cash having a great second half here to kind of cut into the deficit.
Here's Jamal Ford. First time he's been off the bench here in the second half and hits a floater.
And one stop here could cut into that deficit that they've been hesitant to overcome tonight, I would say.
Hawks running some clock here in the possession. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Washington was on fire in the first half. Here's a deep three, almost banked in by Bowling, but now a rebound by Baldwin. Here come the Cougars. Baldwin slicing through, puts up a wild shot, no good, but he collects his own miss. Baldwin, interior pass to Henry, up with a shot, no good, but he'll head to the free throw line for two.
And we see Henry go for the putback there. He was looking to dunk it. He was going for the kill there on that possession. And that pesky defense and turnovers have helped the Cougars cut into this deficit.
The foul was on Cam Boyd. It's his fourth foul. As Henry will head to the stripe. Henry's first free throw is good. Henry now with 13 points. Three Cougars in double figures. You've got Bullock with 21, Cash with 15, and Henry with 13. That's good as well. Bryson Davis returns for Averett. Well, it's a 10-point lead. The closest the Cougars have been here in the second half.
And the Cougars have finally snapped that lingering 11-point deficit that they couldn't overcome. So let's see how they play defense here to kind of keep cutting into it.
Good defense there as Madison had a step on the defender, but a deflection out of bounds.
And we see Bullock step down. He was looking to attempt to block it. So let's hope the Cougars can keep the lanes clogged and close out on the perimeters.
But again, that dribble penetration. You know, things happen when you can get to the basket. If that defense collapses, kick it out, wide open threes. If they don't, got to lane to the hoop.
Oh.
Here's Cash, though, on a steal. Cash, a lot of room ahead of him. Uses the defender, shields him, and scores it with a scoop layup and one coming. Big bucket there.
And like we've been saying repeatedly this afternoon, basketball is a game of runs, and the Cougars appear to have started their run.
What a smart play by Cash as he waited for the defender, got him on his hip, and then still finished the hoop with the harm.
Using his body, textbook, the fundamentals.
That's right. And Cash will try to cap off the old school three-point play. There, that one's good. So it's a 7-point lead. Here come the Cougars. 9:30 left to play.
If the Cougars can get a stop here, we're looking at a totally different ball game.
There's a 14-point at halftime. Cougars are +7 here in the second half. Schmidt's in trouble. Only 10 on the shot clock. They look out of sorts here. Hawks searching for some kind of offense. Madison probably going to have to bail him out. And he ran over a defender. Offensive foul.
And we see Montre just step in and put his body on the line for his teammates to draw the charge. Great play, defensive play by Montre Cash.
Great to see one of the leaders too, and scoring leader really. I mean, taking a charge, that really is a trickle down effect then for the rest of the team.
Yep. And it shows they want to win. Him and Bullock have came to play today. They don't plan on losing this afternoon, and it's showing on the scoreboard as the Cougars score again.
How about Cash with that finger roll, cuts the lead to 5.
And with a 5-point lead, you see the energy here at the stadium increases.
Deflection into the backcourt. Washington tracks it down. But again, the Hawks look out of sorts here offensively. Schmidt with it in the corner. Madison probably going to try to bail him out again. Thought about a 3, and he got fouled on a deep 3 attempt.
And that was a smart play, offensive play. He seen Ford off his feet. He was like, I'm just going to go throw my body into him, and let's get this foul.
As the shot clock was winding down.
Great defense by the Cougars, though. That they've increased the defense. They've become a little more pesky than what they were before, and now you see it on the scoreboard.
A lot less dribble penetration. Everything's been out high on the perimeter.
And they're closing out on the shots. If you pass it to the perimeter, they're closing out, closing those windows.
So Damian Madison, 2 more coming from the stripe. Second one is up and good. Zachary returns, along with Thomas Green. And for the Cougars, it's Henry and Lewis checking back. And Madison knocks in another free throw. And a timeout, Huntington. Well, Averett had it all the way down to 5 points, but still right back in this thing. They're down 8 as they trailed by 14 at halftime. Still a lot of time left, 8:29. But you mentioned it, Ja'Cory. One thing that we're seeing is they're ratcheting it up on the defensive end of the floor, and that's going to be pivotal here down the stretch.
Definitely. Getting the hands in, forcing turnovers, and getting the ball back so they can score more. And we see the Cougars with 2 turnovers in the last few minutes of the half, and you see it translate. They're down 8 now from an 11-point deficit that had been lingering all game. So it's good to see the Cougars being pesky and active on defense.
So let's talk football here for a minute. You guys coming off an 8-3 season. Of course, it's not what you guys wanted. I know you guys wanted to build off that. Was it 8-3 season that you had?
7-3.
7-3.
Yes, sir.
A season ago.
Or no, it was 8-2 a season ago and 7-3 this year.
8-2 a season ago. So you're trying to build off that, and 7-3 this year. A couple close games though on the road that could have went either way. But what are your final thoughts? What are your major takeaways from the season?
We had a great season. It was fun. Coach Adams put us in great positions to win. Coach Cartman, our new defensive coordinator, set us up for ultimate success. The tough games, they're always hard losses, but hopefully the guys learn from them and next year they can go get that ring.
Yeah, a tough one against Huntington, actually, who ended up winning the conference.
Yep. We lost by 6 to Huntington and lost by 1 to Brevard. Those 2 tough games could have put us in the championship, but everything happened for a reason. Let's hope see those Cougars get that ring next year. They definitely will get that ring next year. Speaking as a football player from an alumni, they definitely will get a ring next year.
I like it. Here comes Keyshawn Lewis with it. Bullock at the high post. Backs down, kicks it out to Ford. Ford, deep triple. That's good. Well, he gave up that one on the defensive end of the floor, but he got it right back with that deep triple. Lead cut to 5 now.
The basketball guys saw his efforts on defense, so they reward him on the offensive end.
Here's a drive and a foul underneath as James Harris got to the basket.
And just kudos to the Cougars. Their defense has been stellar over the last 2 to 3 minutes here in this second half.
James Harris at the line.
So Harris will head back to the stripe. That first free throw is no good.
And that's big for the Cougars. Like I said, the free throws play a vital part in the game. It's the small things that matter. And we see the Hawks in the crucial moment as the Cougars are fighting this deficit. You see them missing free throws as he takes his second attempt here.
That second one is up and in. Yeah, speaking of free throws, they've been a big part of this one. Huntingdon is 18 of 23 from the line. Cougars 22 of 30. So both teams have shot a ton of free throws. Here's Ford. To Henry, now to Cash. Back to Ford. Kicks it out, Bullock for three. Bang! That's good. Raymond Bullock. Nothing but nylon. Big triple. And it's a 3-point lead.
And Raymond Bullock is having a monster night tonight.
Bullock already with a career high. And he just keeps adding to it. Here's Zachary, almost lost it on the baseline, and they're going to get a reach-in foul. That's a tough one there.
I may be being a little biased here, but I don't think that was a...
It looked like pretty good defense.
Yeah, that was pretty good defense to me.
But it's a 1-and-1 situation here, so...
And that three-point shot just shows the versatility of Raymond Bullock. He's coming in, he's being effective now. He's putting up valuable golden minutes, and he's helping the Cougars cut into the deficit to try to come back and win this game.
Yeah, really can't score inside and outside. Yeah. And a great rebounder, always coming up with those hustle plays. Zachary cans a couple free throws to push the lead back out to 5, 80-75.
With me being a Laker fan, he's giving me that Anthony Davis energy tonight. He's hustling on the defensive end, and it's rewarding him on the offensive end. So let's hope Bullock can keep it up tonight.
Jamal Ford step back three. Bullock on the offensive glass, and he's a man amongst boys right now underneath. And Bullock is all fired up, but he should be.
Yeah, he had me fired up as well. I'm all out of my seat and stuff. Bullock is definitely having a monster night tonight. And it's fun to watch, ladies and gentlemen. And now we see the Cougars down by 3. After facing that 11-point deficit all half, now they're coming down by 3 due to good defense. Everything we harped on. Playing defense, getting closing the lanes, making sure no one can drive through, and hustling on the offensive end, getting shots up. And we see Montre coming back with a stellar half as well.
Free throw is up. No good, but still a 3-point lead here. 80-77. All of a sudden, we got a tight ball game.
And we see Washington here on the bench. Wondering if Coach trying to let him cool off a little bit, saving for later minutes or for a bigger shot. But the Cougars have definitely taken advantage of him being out of the game.
And Zachary that time split the defense, got inside and scored. 5-point lead here for the Hawks. There's Baldwin to Ford. They're looking for Bullock, and I believe they're going to get a whistle on Zachary, who was trying to body up Bullock. And you can just tell Bullock too strong underneath there for Zachary right now. He's getting anywhere he wants to inside.
And these free throws are very important with this being such a close deficit now. We've been talking about free throws all night. Let's hope Bullock makes both of these free throws.
That one's good.
And the Cougars have brought the energy the second half. Montre having a big night. Raymond Bullock having a big night. Corey Baldwin, the freshman, giving valuable defensive and offensive minutes. Jamal Ford, he came in and gave a few quick buckets that in turn gave the Cougars the momentum to cut into the deficit.
So Bullock's going to go to the bench, get a breather. He's got 28 points, a career high. And the Cougars trail by 3. That ball's out of bounds. Good pressure by Ford. Give it back to Averett. So the Cougars have Ford, Davis, Henry, Baldwin, and Cash.
And we have a totally different ball game here, folks.
Cash will inbound. Find Henry right at the high post. Misses a in-between jump shot.
And he put just a little too much on it.
And I believe we've got a offensive foul on Michael Woods, as there was a little bit of a ball pressure applied by the Cougars, and he threw an elbow, so that'll turn it back over to Averett. Ball out front to Baldwin. Now to the corner. Ford for three. Off the rim, no good. That would have been a big triple. Zachary up ahead, and a flush. Michael Woods pushes the lead back to 5.
And that was a great look, great pass by the Cougars, swinging the ball. Jamal Ford just comes up short on the shot, but great look, great look.
And Michael Woods, who turned it over there a moment ago with that flying elbow, gets those points right back on the other end of the floor with a two-handed flush. And it's 84-79. We've kind of been stuck on this back and forth. Cougars down 5, down 3 for the last couple minutes, but still a lot of time left, over 6 minutes left, and they've done a really nice job here in the second half of coming back on the defensive end of the floor and turning defense into offense. So out of this timeout, the Cougars will stay the same. Or no, check that. They'll bring back Raymond Bullock, who's had the hot hand here tonight. Bullock and Cash trying to break the pressure. Now Baldwin.
And we see Baldwin eyeing Bullock on the way as he was coming up court. Bullock back in the game, ready to, as he's caught a breather, ready to continue his monster night.
Ford inside, finds Henry. In between jump shot, this one crawls across the rim, no good. Bullock was fighting for that board, but couldn't corral it. And the Hawks do. James Harris with it, out front to Zachary. Washington is off that bench looking for that three ball, picks up his dribble though.
And that was a great closeout by Corey Baldwin to get a hand up to force him to second guess himself. And a great block by Corey Baldwin as well.
Baldwin with a huge block as the shot clock expired.
And you see the intensity on Corey Baldwin's face. He's fired up and they're ready to come back and win this game.
Bullock finds Ford. Here's Cash. Ford thought about a deep triple. Now Bullock at the high post. Kicks it out. Baldwin. Wide open three. Boom! Corey Baldwin. Big triple.
And ladies and gentlemen, we now have a 2-point deficit with a 3-point ball from Corey Baldwin.
Great pass out of the post too by Raymond Bullock to find the shooter. 2-point lead here for the Hawks. Here's Zachary. Back out front to Washington. Waits for the defense to fly by. Fires a three. No. Rebound Raymond Bullock as he high-pointed the basketball and then got fouled.
And we see Corey Baldwin still involved. He runs up to give that second hand after Montre jump pass to contest Washington there. So
how about Baldwin, too, giving great effort on the defensive end, then comes down and hits a huge shot to cut it to 2. And don't look now, but the Cougars have a chance to tie this game up at 84.
They're down 2 now after that lingering 11-point deficit that we've talked about all first half. You see the Cougars fight back. Basketball's a game of run, and they came back here late in the second quarter.
And Bullock's first free throw is good. What a second half scoring for Averett. They only had 37 points at halftime. They've got 83 with 4:26 left to play.
Definitely, and it came from defense. Their pesky defense have given them the ball numerous occasions, and you see those guys capitalizing on those chances.
So Bullock, one more coming. Off the rim, no good. But still a 1-point game. Almost a steal there by Jamal Ford. Here come the Hawks. No-look pass inside. It's deflected, but a foul.
And that was just a great athletic play by Timothy Henry to react and reach his hand in there and kind of swat that ball away to prevent the and one.
So freshman forward Logan Gorey will head to the free throw line. First free throw's off the mark.
And we hear the Cougars bench getting involved. They're getting active. They know it's late in the game. Any distraction at their free throw line can save the game.
We've got a great finish here brewing. Glad you're aboard with us here on the Averett Sports Network. Gorey's got one more coming. That one's good. 85-83. Bullock's pass was deflected out of bounds. They'll keep it.
And we see Bullock come out the game again.
You can hear Coach Duino, at least I can read the lips. He said, I'm going to get you right back in, just get you a quick breather. Cash will bring it up the floor.
And that's smart, keep him fresh for the closing minutes of the game. You don't know what type of situation you may be in. You want to have your best players fresh.
And a double dribble. Turnover.
And we see the Cougars here kind of shooting themselves in the foot here. Late in the game, double dribble by Jamal Ford. We know he's a great dribbler. Just a late game situational mishap.
He'll have a chance to redeem himself. Here's Madison, the Hawks' top scorer, coming in. Madison backing down Cash, and the Cougars bench wants to travel, and now we've got a technical foul called on Coach Duino. I tell you what, it could have been, but they're going to get a whistle before the travel.
And that was a questionable call there by the ref. I felt like Montre Cash was playing great defense there. No hands were involved, just straight body to body. And Coach Duino made it known that his emotions about the call. So,
well, Madison definitely shuffled his shoes, but did the foul come before the travel? That's the conundrum we're in. So, official did blow the whistle for the foul. Coach Duino didn't like it, and now Madison at the stripe.
And what in basketball, you know what they say, the ball doesn't lie. He misses his first free throw, and the Cougars are back on defense now.
Still a one-possession game, 86-83. And timeout, 3:51 left to play. Come on back with us as we got a great one brewing as the Cougars trail by 3 here on the Averett Sports Network with 3:51 left to play.
I definitely chose Averett because I wanted, to know my professors. Another thing was I made a promise to myself in 5th grade that I wanted to play collegiate soccer.
If you have the talent and dedication to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
And welcome back.
And here we're back after the timeout, ladies and gentlemen. We have two Cougars here tonight in double digits. Raymond Bullock with 29 points and Montre Cash with 20. And those guys have been providing valuable minutes tonight. Timothy Hemmer with 14 points and Corey Ballin cashing in 10 points. And we now have a very close game with a 5-point lead. The Hawks lead here with a monster shooting night. They were shooting 63% in the first half and came back after the second half and been still lighting it up. But the Cougars have contained that, and now they're facing a shorter deficit.
Cash misses the shot. Bullock follows. Couldn't make it, but we've got a whistle. And again, just that hustle, that effort, that grit that Raymond Bullock plays with. It's really contagious.
And you see it spill over to his guys. Montre Cash came back in the second half and put up 20 points. Corey Ballin with 10. Timothy Henry with 14, like I said earlier. So you see those guys kind of feeding off each other and trying to come back together as a team and win the game.
Yeah, Montre Cash only had 5 points at halftime, but has had a really big second half with 15 points and building still.
And the play that keeps replaying in my head was Corey Ball with the hustle on defense, then come back down here and get that three. That was a great play by the freshman. We know he has great years to come playing that well at an early stage.
Yeah, Baldwin again in double figures here today. Was in double figures last night against Brevard as the Cougars won by 22 last night by the count of 77-55. Baldwin had 15 points in that ball game off the bench. Here's Bullock at the stripe and back of the iron, no good. Raymond Bullock has shot 15 free throws here. If there's one knock on his game today, I know this is just one thing we could mention. He's only 9 of 15 from the line. That one's good. So 10 of 16 now.
Yeah. And like we've been saying all afternoon, free throws are vital. So he's made up for it on the defensive end and the offensive end, but he has to make those free throws.
Especially right now in crunch time as the Cougars trail by 4. Here's Madison. Ducking inside, misses the wild shot, but an offensive rebound and a second chance. Coach DeWino's saying the ball never hit the rim,
and after
so the shot clock shouldn't have reset.
And after the technical foul Coach just received, you see the referees a little more hasty with him, kind of let them know, like, hey, we have it, Coach.
But in a close game, I mean, he's got every right to.
Yeah. Definitely. His intensity should definitely be there.
Right. And now we've got a foul away from the ball. They're going to get Montre Cash on a hold. So Cash, his fourth foul, will send Aaron Washington to the free throw line. Washington had that huge first half as he cans the first. Give him 20 points now. Second one is up and good.
And Washington back in the game, shooting free throws. The Cougars should look to make sure he doesn't get hot, chase him off that perimeter so they can finish this comeback and close out the game.
Has not had a lot of open looks from three here in the second half. Here's Cash off the bounce. Jump shot's good.
And that was a great shot by Cash. Take what they give you, they say, and he did just that.
Put it on the floor and hits that mid-range jump shot. Cuts the lead back to 4. James Harris with it. Fakes the handoff, now gives it to Madison. Madison on the right side wants a screen from Michael Woods. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Raymond Bullock with a rebound as the Hawks were out of sorts there on that possession.
And we see Bullock contest the shot, then get the rebound. Very athletic play by Bullock there.
He's been everywhere tonight. Bullock with it inside, off the glass for 2. Raymond Bullock doing absolutely everything for the Cougars here this afternoon. Cuts the lead to 2.
Yep, and with just 2 minutes in the quarter, you see Raymond Bullock, Montre Cash, those guys are starting to come alive and get valuable buckets here to cut this lead down and get the win.
Raymond Bullock now just 1 rebound shy from a double-double. He's got 32 points and 9 rebounds. Montre Cash behind him with 22 points and 4 assists. But how about the scoring in this second half? Both teams, I mean, look up, it's 90-88, a lot of points. 2:09 left.
And that's just a testament to the coaches as well. Both coaches know, familiar with each other, so their game planning and battling. It's chess, not checkers. So these guys are making their next move their best move.
You know what, Ja'Cory, in a lot of ways, it seems like these teams are playing, one another. It seems like Averett could be lining up against Averett in a way.
Definitely.
A lot of similar mentalities, similar types of players, too, across their rosters. Ball into Washington. So Damian Madison will calmly bring it across half court. And we are now under 2 minutes to play here in the ballgame. Madison kicks it into the corner. Harris, couple jab steps, he's in trouble. Kicks it out front to Madison. Madison, 2 on the shot clock, driving, no good. Jamal Ford gets it, rebound, and he gets it up ahead to Cash. He lays it up and in.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie game here in the second half with 134 to go on the clock, and a big bucket by Montre Cash.
That was a smart play by Montre Cash. As soon as he saw his team was going to get that rebound, he sprinted to get that layup to tie things up at 90.
And we said basketball was a game of runs, and we see the Cougars win on their run and haven't looked back.
Big run here in the second half. They were down by 14 at halftime. Here's Madison slicing inside, up with a shot, no good. Everything's been tough to come by. Here's Jamal Ford. Ford is going to pull it back out front. I think it's a good decision to run a play here. Here you go, Cash. Takes it out high. Coming up on a minute to play. Cash around a screen. In the lane, up with a tough shot. No good. Rebound to the Hawks. Caleb Toney.
And Montre looked like he was expecting the foul. With 52.4 seconds here in the second half, folks, we have a tie game.
What a finish we have in store here. Oh, I need a breather too. The players need a breather, and so do we, right?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a part of the game. This has been an intense one. Definitely an intense game. And speaking of intense, the intensity of Bullock, Montre Cash, Corey Baldwin, Jamal Ford. We was talking about the bench earlier. These guys have stepped in, played their role very well, and gave valuable points to the Cougars.
Yeah, Coach Duino and the Cougars really found a unit that worked there late in the second half, and they really stuck with it. Bullock's been a big part of it. Cash has been a big part of it.
And we see Bullock just having a monster night. Bullock is playing out of his mind tonight. He's a walking bucket. Literally.
Yeah, he's just scorching from the floor. He's 10 of 12. He's tried 2 triples. He's knocked down both of those. En route to his 32 points. And by the way, he did pick up that other rebound, so give him a double-double. 32 points, 10 rebounds. But he'd like nothing more than a victory here with 51.9 seconds left. And Zachary inbounds it into the backcourt to Harris. Big possession here. Harris gets out front to Madison. Madison dribbles left, kicks it into the corner. Washington for 3. Off the rim, no good. Rebound, guess who? Raymond Bullock.
And with the clock winding down, ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie game and the Cougars have possession.
90 all. Henry with it now to Baldwin. Down to Bullock. Bullock on the baseline. Faces up. Jump shot's good. Raymond Bullock. Big bucket. 92-90. Still need one stop here. 15 seconds left to go.
And that was just a great shot by Bullock. Bullock is a problem. He is sending a message to the USAC. Bullock is here to play, ladies and gentlemen.
Madison's going to try a 3, and he hit it. How about that? Damian Madison with ice water in his veins. Step back triple. to give the Hawks a 1-point lead. Still time left here, 4.7. As Caleb Toney will check in. Full timeout here by Coach Duino. We'll keep it here, though, because, wow, we've had a lot happen there in a short amount of time.
Right, and the Cougars have scored 90 points tonight. Raymond Bullock has 30, and the rest of the team has 60. Montrey's holding 20 of his own.
Yeah.
So the Cougars came to play tonight, and we see great transition, defense, offense, everything. It's just been a great game today, folks.
Both teams have just been so efficient on the offensive end of the floor. And a huge step-back three a moment ago by Damian Madison, their top scorer, coming in.
And we've been talking about that all afternoon. That has been the problem. Those guys have been getting shots up, and they've been falling down. So the Cougars know in these last closing minutes, close the perimeter out and get your hands up for this contest.
Well, it was all Aaron Washington there in the first half in terms of scoring. He had 21, but all of a sudden, Madison now with 24 points. He's had a strong second half. No bigger shot than that last triple he hit a moment ago.
And I think you mentioned earlier that he was their top scorer. Madison was their top scorer.
Coming in at 17 tonight, so well capable.
So just like the Cougars came alive, he came alive in the closing minutes. He wasn't ready to go home either.
So the Cougars will have to travel the length of the floor here. They put some time back on the clock, 5.2 seconds. Let's see what they've drawn up here. Ford gets it into Cash. Cash at the top of the key, deep three, off the rim, no good.
And the Cougars just fall short here with a late miss by Montre Cash, who had an excellent night. Him and Raymond Bullock led the Cougars to a comeback, but just fell short. Tough loss by the Cougars tonight.
What a game as Huntingdon comes into town, into Danville, and steals one from the Cougars. Well, all things considered, Huntingdon led 51-37 at half. Averett could have, just kind of walked through the second half and let them run away with it, but they didn't. They fought all in that second half to get back to it, and big three by Damian Madison puts Huntingdon ahead for good, 93-92.
And let's hope both teams take these energies into the next game. The Cougars know what they have to build on in order to win the next game, and I can see them coming back with a different face, with a new vibe, new energy, bring it to the USAC.
Definitely, I think both these teams are going to be two teams to reckon with in the USA South.
Great game today. Washington having a stellar night from the three-point line. Madison coming in late in the game, hitting that late three-point shot here.
So the final here this afternoon, 93-92, as Huntingdon gets the win. And we will take a short break and come back on the other side. Of course, we've got women's action coming at you next, right here on the Averett Sports Network, rather.
I definitely chose Averett because I wanted, to know my professors. Another thing was I made a promise to myself in 5th grade that I wanted to play collegiate soccer.
To succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.